Okay, here I am, straightforward on the next stream. In fact, Otis! Stop saying there you go! It does not make any sense! You are actually causing complete anger out of context reasons. Okay, I'm gonna get myself straight here. I actually raised my voice at Otis saying there you go because basically it means it's out of context. And the reason why I think it's out of context, oh look, Hidden Chameleon, and the reason why it's being out of context, and he's playing this game called the Penguins of Madagascar. What's that called? Dr. Blowhole's Revenge? I can't really remember. I've never ever played that game before. In fact, I'm not really the sort of person who is mainly enticed into gaming in that type of stuff. Well, mainly in videos, but I do play a lot of games outside of video making on YouTube. Don't know what was going on, but I feel like I'm straightforward way against this YouTuber slash Twitch streamer. And I think with me ranting about it, I think that's actually putting other people without sleep. And that's really sad because honestly, to really see me actually yell right in front of screen does not make any sense. And it seems like that I actually forgot to say, good day YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in for today's voting video on YouTube. Well, I'm not very enthusiastic about it at the moment. But, you know, I'm just straightforward, you know, over at the site now. I mean, I'm just straightforward over my YouTube channel at the moment somehow. I'm just straightforward, like, yelling for no other reason, just because of that one particular thing I really seem to hate or dislike the most. And that's why my video count is actually increasing up to about 1,397 videos on YouTube. And that's, like, crazy. Because, you know, the more I hear about him saying, there you go, the more I get really annoyed. That's the part I seem to get really... Otis! Don't you dare ever say that word, okay? Don't even use any words that have less than one syllable or less than 3 syllables, okay? Don't even say there you go. That is wrong, okay? It's very wrong because 1, you're being out of context for basically about 10-15 seconds, and 2, you have the audacity to make the audience completely bored when you're this silent. Because, you know, the more you become silent and you become a lot much more out of context, you are going to bore us. You're going to put us into sleep, and the next time when you're going to be streaming us, and the next day when we wake up after watching your streams, you're going to be putting us into a really bad day, okay? That's one thing I'm going to call, okay? You've got other people involved, and that's the other thing. You do not make ever straightforward a stream that contains, there you go. Otis! You are disobeying, oh my gosh! Seriously, Otis, you are completely disobeying the rules of the, oh my gosh. Oh my god, Otis, you are peeving me off. Sorry if I'm actually getting angry at this, because there's also other people who are straightforward trying to sleep. I don't want to, like, annoy the neighbors as well too, but I just yelled just because Otis was saying, there you go. And that really annoys me because you are being out of context, Otis. Otis, you are being very out of context. Okay, you, sir, are being out of context for no other reason. And that's why I'm making so many videos because of you. And not only because of you, but throughout the rest of the stream, and for the fact that you've banned me so far on my YouTube channel, you have straightforward been out of context for the whole rest of your life. And in fact, the whole stream. Okay, I can't really talk properly in English, but that's why I think you have been straightforward banning me this whole time. And, okay, this is going to be a sign. Also, I think when I watched this streamer, there were some ear-raping moments on that stream, but I don't think it's been archived onto YouTube yet. I think it might be archived on the Twitch first. I think usually when he finishes his streams, by the time when he's done, I think that's when he starts. I think that's when he starts to become sort of, you know, a bit of a totally different person. Maybe. I might be totally wrong here, but I feel like, you know, the way he does streams now, it feels like a complete drug or an antidote. A very poisonous antidote to me. You know, all of a sudden, it's a little bit like, you know, you talk about something on YouTube, there's a lot of, like, weird hashes that go on YouTube, and there's a lot of, like, stuff that happens in the war and stuff, and this is wrong. And thank goodness, look at Otis, he's actually collected the blue chameleon. Strange enough, I actually haven't got that much in the way of, like, memory and stuff, but I'm going to record for about at least 20 minutes or so, because I feel like I've got no more memory in my tablet. You know, I'm basically just wasting so much memory just because of that stupid dumbass raccoon again. And the fact that I'm straightforward very peeved off about this guy here, and the fact that he's straightforward being out of context. I feel like this guy really needs to sleep. Okay, the more he plays video games around nighttime, the more I think, it's time for him to sleep. But don't worry, I'm actually making this video around the middle part of summer. Actually, it's the early part of summer. And because it's summertime, I think the one thing I can recognize about this season is that I can't really tell. In fact, why am I straightforward out of context again? Man, of course, first, he's out of context. Then I'm being out of context. What's the point of making this video again? And I'm sorry I have to rant here. Because the more I think about him playing video games, and the more he's being more out of context. Whenever he's like, watching a cutscene or something like that, look at him. The way he's posing like that, that gives me the heebie-jeebies. That's what I could have just said in that first part. And actually, if I remember thinking about that other video that I did, which actually talked about Otis Beer rant, and in fact, I actually did a rant about Otis Beer streams being out of context for saying the word, there you go, and that kind of stuff. That's all to do with this problem-solving BS that's been happening at the moment here. I mean, that's just somehow quite crazy. I don't know what's going on with me, but I just feel like, this guy is a total, complete waste of time and a complete nightmare to get through. And look at that, he's playing those, what's that? Is that Penguins of Madagascar? That weird game/TV show that I used to watch on TV. I don't know what it was, but something I can't really tell. I know JG Quintel does like Mordecai's voice. That's a regular show that he's on about. But honestly, is he going to be like the new Rigby? Or basically, he's straightforward, blinking his eyes for a couple of seconds, and you can just see why. Look at that blink. Out of context. Otis, you're being out of context. Otis, I don't have to yell at you again, but you're being out of context and you've actually made me disturb the neighbours. Do you want me to have it again? I would love to straightforward see that again, but I don't. I hate it. Okay, I'm sorry if I have to keep on ranting here, because honestly, I'll say, the more I think about seeing those gameplay videos, especially more in the way of Otis B, I know Otis B has been straightforward I don't know. Yeah, of course I've seen birds regurgitate food. That's like nature docos for you, obviously. That's something I remember. I think the problem is that because Otis has basically banned me on the chat, because, there is one thing I've been doing something which was really, really great, but very horrible at the same time. And it's definitely one that I've been straightforward got into trouble with. And that was saying words relating to President Trump or, anything to do with wars. It's the same thing with YouTube. There's a lot of, like, hashed or unhashed stuff. And, in fact, as I said before, it actually unveils the Pandora's box of different stuff. Because that Pandora's box unveils, like, certain, like, nasty and gnarly YouTubers, especially, like, very suspicious YouTubers, that I think it makes it very hard for me to, make videos like this today. I mean, that's the other thing is that videos are also going to get stolen so much these days, and I think that's really sad. I've seen other people from YouTube who have actually got their YouTube videos being stolen as well too, and that's problematic as well too. Don't know what's going on, but I feel like that's going to be something else. I don't know. Anyways, I need a straightforward detect of what's going on. Maybe I'm just harassing that guy though, just because he says there you go a lot. Because that pose change really creeps me out. I don't know how I'm going to perform well from tomorrow. Because I think this guy really needs to sleep. And so does I. I think, that's the problem behind it. Otis! Stop being out of context! Oh my god. Stop being out of context. Really? You have to say, there it is. Or there you go. Again, you've done it again. You are literally completely making a complete riff-raff outside of my neighborhood. My goodness me, Otis. We are going to be straightforward timing you out. We are also going to be straightforward. You know what? We are going to straightforward ban you from doing streams. In fact, we're going to delete your account. We are going to delete your account so that you can't do any more gaming videos on YouTube, okay? No more gaming videos on YouTube. And I think that's final. Because I think we are certainly done and sick and tired of your stupid streams and stuff. I don't know how much drama am I causing, but I feel like I'm actually doing so much drama just because it's right for me to do so, and not wrong to do so. The thing is, I'm just straightforward ranting about it, and hey, clearly I'm just trying to take over your voice, and I mean that's something I'm just straightforward taking over your voice just because I don't know. Don't know. Maybe that's the same thing with. Gophers are actually referred to like moles in the UK. Obviously, I think of Winnie the Pooh. That's the only thing I can recognise. Part of American culture. I don't know, that's a bit weird. I think the only thing that recognised me as a gopher is probably that beaver from the Lady and the Tramp film, obviously. I'm watching you, Otis. You make sure you don't say words that have less than one syllable or less than 3 syllables. You make sure you don't say anything that has to do with like less than 3 syllables of certain words. Like you can't say there you go or there it is. I don't want a straightforward think about hearing that because that's the problem because yeah. And well, that is somehow very interesting about Silent Hill. I haven't really talked about Silent Hill because I'm not really a bit of a gamer on YouTube. Honestly, I tend to do like toys and stuff. I mean, that's my different interest in that. But you know what? That doesn't matter. And very interesting. Of course, I don't want to straightforward sound very out of context. It seems like that both me and Otis are straightforward taking turns of being out of context. And the fact I'm doing so many of those stupid, dumb, spammy videos, wham, bam, thank you, no ma'am, type videos on YouTube, which relate into this person here streaming. And I think that's the problem. The only problem is that whenever I think about this guy here doing streams on YouTube is, I keep on seeing his posts on YouTube on the MeleeMario 720 YouTube channel, and when I see those, I just think, wow, you know what, it's time to troll him. Who knows, it feels like the same way, like the way I do it is sort of similar, like, you know, if straightforward, if it's like, you know, Google doing this, I don't know if that's, I don't know about you, but it's almost like, you know, if I'm doing stuff that's straightforward, very, you know, rude towards Otis Beer, you know, it's a little bit like, well, it's something a little bit, oh my goodness me. Otis, I'm detecting no more out of context stuff. You got that? Okay. You shouldn't say like more than let's just say less than 3 syllables. Okay. You have just okay. I don't want to hear any of that. Like, you've literally just said there you go so many times, and you have been disobeying me so much. Okay. You have disobeyed me so much throughout the rest of the whole day, and I think you're going to be doing it throughout the rest of the whole career. Okay. I might as well just think about like ending your career. Okay. Your career of streaming on Twitch, and the fact it doesn't make any money. It does not make any sense. It does not make any sense for you to do any live streams on Twitch because of the fact that you're saying, there you go, and the fact that I perceive it as being out of context because you're problem solving and you don't really speak that much. Okay, look at you. Straightforward, I'm just hearing about that. I don't know what's going on, but I feel like that is something. Alright, obviously, you know, I can't really stand the way this person does. I think that's almost like even more worse than like, you know, somebody who was working at Patreon. I mean, that's just me being out of context. Actually, going back to that part, whether it's like Google, I mean, Google is straightforward going to be continuing monitoring my videos, and even the same thing YouTube as well too. I don't know if it's like either me or you or anyone else who's looking at Otis. I don't know if it's either me. I feel like it's trolls watching this because I got a funny feeling that, you know, those are the sort of people who want to straightforward take out that sort of action and straightforward kill that video. Even me, I'm straightforward being the absolute troll to him because, well, YouTube is becoming a complete dumbass site these days. I'm really sorry I have to say that again. Who knows, I could be taken into police or go to hospital and then that's it. But then, you know, I would love to find some very astute people who have known me for quite a while to straightforward avoid this type of behavior, and I think that's something I really want to keep myself in touch. I mean, I don't want to straightforward, you know, lose my throat and have a completely bad day tomorrow because clearly, I mean, I know tomorrow's going to be like Friday the 13th, but how unlucky can I be? Clearly, the most sought after videos. I mean that's just something I really want to be very careful of. I don't know how much sleep am I going to be getting like later on because I do know that this whole. Don't know how much out of context stuff am I going to get into. Okay, I'm just straightforward. Yeah, go ahead and click. Otis! Don't say there you go, okay? We have been warning you. We have been warning you. You've said there you go many, many times, and that is it. Jeez. Otis, you have been disobeying me this whole recording, and we are going to be straightforward banning you on Twitch. No more streams, no more stream creating, and that's it. Okay, I think you've been straightforward cheesy. Okay, that's not funny. Okay, we might as well just have to kick you in the butt. Kick you in the ass for that one. I think... Okay, you've just sworn. I might have to do a jump cut for you. Oh my god, Otis, will you stop saying, there you go? Jesus Christ, man. Do you have to say this every time in this one stream? Like, seriously, Otis. Oh my god. Give yourself an effing rest. I don't have to sound like oh my god. I don't have to sound like a complete non-Christian jerk who's actually straightforward ranting on your freaking streams the whole time. I'm certainly sick, angry, and tired about your stupid goddamn streams. I'm over it. Please, Otis, will you listen to me? My god, this guy really annoys me a lot. I'm sorry if I have to sound so angry at this part of the recording here. But it's just that, you know, that's the part that really annoys me. And the one problem is that because he is streaming, he cannot be controlled. Okay, that's the problem. When he's streaming on that site, and the fact that he's in a different borough in the UK, well, he's from the UK, obviously, and he's in the same country as I am, but he's in a different region in the UK, or country in the UK, maybe somewhere around the London area, I guess. That's the problem. Yeah, you know what? I cannot stand him. In fact, I can't stand the fact he is straightforward talking like this. I'm really angry, okay? I am merely angry for the fact that this guy wants to straightforward say there you go so many times, and I don't really like it, okay? That's me as an autistic guy who just watching a normal stream who does not understand the context beyond the stream, okay? I'm had it. In fact, not only I'm having it, but I'm just feeling like I'm getting totally ripped off for a day like this, because I initially thought there wasn't going to be a stream on Thursday. And now I've been completely and utterly insinuated. I've been completely conned. Okay? I'm really sorry I have to go ahead and sound seriously. I'm not shouting or anything, or maybe I am. In fact, I am shouting, but I am angry. Because this streamer keeps on saying, there you go. That's the part that really grinds my gears. And I've had it. I've completely had it so much. Sorry if I have to sound like this, but this is a video I have to really create here, because this is the sort of video I really want to combat against this stupid, dumbass YouTuber. I'm sorry if I have to sound like this again. In fact, the police might come along, knock at the door, and even in this case, the neighbors, they might knock at the door, and that's the problem. Like, you know, the fact I'm straightforward screeching out and yelling at the fact that this guy is still streaming. And look at him, he's only been streaming for about 3 hours and 40 minutes. Can't he get a proper rest? You know, I think that's probably much better for him. Give himself a freaking rest. You know, that's what I would rather, you know, if I was in this house, I'd probably tell him to effing rest. You know, I'd probably tell him to effing rest at this part. You know, that would be much better than just having to tell him off and just say, Otis, you're being out of context because you're saying, there you go, stop saying it. Okay, that would have been a much more bigger affair. You know, who knows? Maybe I'm just, you know, who knows? Maybe some people are thinking, am I going to be really intimidating this guy? Or maybe I'm just straightforward, you know, I'm just straightforward harassing or intimidating this guy. Who knows? Maybe the fact that, you know, YouTube has got that guideline of just basically, you know, putting up hateful content like that. You know, I could be completely gone. My YouTube channel could be completely banned and completely blocked because of the fact that I'm just spreading some hatred and hateful stuff. Maybe I'm very much more pessimistic than this optimistic raccoon piece of shite. And again, I'm sorry for swearing. Otis, you know what I saw? You know I saw your mouth was straightforward looking at. You know what I was looking at? You know, no, Otis. I don't know. Maybe I'm just straightforward yelling for no reason, just because of that one thing. I just can't stand. I'm really sorry. Like the fact. Who knows? Maybe if I put up these videos on YouTube, who knows of how much monetization I get, and the fact that they might be demonetized just because of how much effort am I just yelling right in front of the screen here. And you know, I'll be straightforward getting told off for basically cursing, raising my voice, and also and the other stuff. You know, You know, I feel like I'm straightforward being talking to any other YouTuber who has actually been involving with me at the times. I don't know. Maybe that's the part. Maybe I'm just like this whole Lima from King Julian, you know, Madagascar. Okay. Maybe I'll be like King Julian from you know, that Lima King who obviously loses his cool just because Mort is the raccoon. Imagine if Mort wasn't the mouse Lima, it would be the raccoon. I don't know. I'm just straightforward thinking about it. And you know what? I'm just gonna straightforward give this video a complete rest because you know what? That's about it. I don't know what to really say. Oh wait. I don't know. As funny as that sounds, don't know what it was, but as funny as it sounds, hey, you know what? I didn't even see that cutscene with, you know, Mort getting freaked out by a penguin. You know, actually a sad clown picture. One of the penguins handling it. Anyways, I'm after straightforward. Don't know how long. Am I gonna somehow like hang on for a while here? Yeah, just because somehow I don't know what to really do, and I think the streamer, he's gonna persist on. Like, I don't know, am I gonna get some remarkable compensation, and even in fact gonna drain my battery life? And I think that's the problem with me at that point. I don't know, maybe I might as well just have to go back to sleep and that's it, and just call it a day. That's just the part. I just feel like, you know, it's just a waste of time. Who knows? Maybe Twitch is this site. It's just a complete waste of time just to, you know, rant about what's actually on screen, and that's it. I'm sorry if I have to sound completely and utterly like, oh man, like the next thing you get angry, the next thing you're gonna get tired. Like, that's the problem. You're gonna lose composure, and I think that's also applying the same thing. You know, if you do raise your voice, and then the next day you're gonna get grumpy, and then you're gonna straightforward be, you know, straightforward that kind of person again. I think that's the problem. Like, when you get angry at night time, and then when you get angry the next day, you're gonna have some very serious health problems, just as I am going to have. You know, that's the problem. That's the issue. Okay, that's only the one effective issue that I'm gonna address here. Like, oh well, maybe I'm just, you know, I'm just straightforward thinking about something else. And speaking of no reason, why am I just straightforward ranting right over in the middle of this freaking gameplay stream that OTIS is playing? Why is he allowed to do like streams that really persist towards like midnight and even across like 1 or 2 o'clock? I feel like that's somehow one thing I need to do is straightforward, like, you know, give it a rest. Don't know how much am I gonna really somehow say here, because I feel like I'm just gonna say I've had it. I'm actually straightforward had it with this person now. Okay, I know I'm just straightforward. Oh, pardon me. Oh God, my camera must have been on. It must have been off screen with the you know, with the raccoon avatar. That's why. I mean, that's just what I was doing, and I'm just condemning on that stream just because it's such an insinuating factor about, you know, the cross between, like, I'm just watching stuff that's on screen. It's a little bit like brain rot, and of course it's a little bit like doom scrolling, just because, you know, you're looking at something that's not very important for your daily routine, and that's something I seemingly go on a tangent about. That's something I go up so much about. Don't know what's going on, but I feel like, yeah, you know, that's just the part. Honestly, I don't really give myself a complete crap about it. I'm really sorry about that, guys. And I mean, that's the sort of video I don't normally produce on YouTube. And yeah, I'm trying to get rid of the whole chat as well too, because obviously I'm just like flicking through cameras and stuff, and the fact that I'm so tired, but I'm just really, in fact, significantly tired just because of that streamer is straightforward putting me into bed, and that's just like wrong. Don't know what's going on here, but who knows? Maybe I'm just straightforward thinking that maybe, who knows? Maybe there could be another moment where the police is gonna knock me on the door and then telling me, you have been straightforward filming OTIS Beer's YouTube, Twitch stream, just because you got quite unhinged about that one. In fact, that one quote when he says, "There you go." That's one thing I really seem to get really mad about, for no other reason. That's just problem solving stuff that I really don't even get. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, I'm just quite skeptical about what's going to happen at the moment here. Otis, I'm warning you. I'm warning you, Otis. I am actually warning you. Well, at least I'm just hoping that there's no swearing at this part of the video, because honestly, I'm trying to think of, I could really say as many words as possible, but I don't really like swearing as always, as I know. And, YouTube has turned into a very totally different, toxic and very strange site these days. Soft but very toxic. Once I make a video like this, the video will get demonetized in a flash. And there's no possible way of making a single video like that. I just don't know how am I going to really run a significant YouTube channel like that. As time just edges on, and I just feel like, wow, I'm not straightforward helping my time, I'm just basically wasting my time, or I'm just straightforward watching is this Twitch streamer just rambling on, and that's just like nonsense. Who knows, it's just, the way I'm looking at it, it's just been nothing but a nightmare so far. Sorry, I just don't know what to really say. It's just really much not my gel and what I'm doing at the moment here. Like, please, somebody explain to me about this. I don't understand what to do with this streamer. I'm really sorry. I just had it with this complete streamer who has decided to block me. Okay, and the video is buffering. Okay, and speaking of competent, this guy is incompetent. And if I can just imagine of sitting back for basically, for days, if not weeks, with that being aside, well then who knows, I'm going to find you along the way there, Otis, and I'm going to straightforward knock on the door and see what is going on with you. I don't know, I just feel like this is wrong. I feel like this streamer needs to be blocked and to be completely banned away from Twitch, because, it's just not that necessary to have streams like this, because that's just my opinion saying on this, but that's not a hateful intention to do so. This is just what I think. This is just what I exactly think. This should have been actually used in the first video that I did, the first bit that I did, which was uploaded like hours earlier on that, which followed on the 12th, and now we're lapsing on to the 13th. Like, I can't, I've actually done so many rants so far, but, that's just the part. Like, who knows, looking at this stuff just really wakes me up. I don't know how much I could really say about the way he is actually straightforward streaming. Don't know what is going on. I just don't know what's going through Otis' beard, but I just feel like, at least it wasn't that much. And Otis, you said more than 3 syllables, okay? And now you've gone through like less than 3 syllables. Again. You're doing it again. You have actually been doing it again, Otis. I'm really sorry to straightforward say this, but you've been doing it again, and I think you've been doing it on purpose. And I think we're going to straightforward block you by the time when I'm straightforward finished and done over with your recording. You know what? That's about it. I might as well just... Yeah. Oh no, I'm going to jump cut this swearing. And yes, I'm actually straightforward thinking outside the square of just how much recording have I been doing so far. And that's just shouting out to me of, wow, I can't believe what am I doing here at the moment now. And the only problem is that the way I'm making these videos, it's so costly. It's so costly for my battery life, and it's also very costly for my memory as well. And that just goes to show you how very saddening and very sadistic. Okay, you were nearly going to rake my ears, but hey, look, Mort has straightforward ran. But you can't see Mort there, because obviously I'm just straightforward focusing on the raccoon furry. And I don't give a complete monkey's toss about Otis being the raccoon. Obviously, I don't think he has got a name here. I don't know. What's his name? What is his name? Is the raccoon's name Otis, or is he named Zach? Otis? Did you just say again? I don't want to give you a complete monkey's toss, but I just don't want you to say less than 1 or even less than 3 syllables. maybe I might as well I'll just have to stop, because clearly this guy is straightforward brainwashing me. Yeah, basically he's brainwashing my brain. In fact, he's actually killing my brain. You know, this stream is actually rattling my brain. Man, what can I really say? I mean, really, where have I crossed the line? I mean, really, that's what I'm sort of thinking. I mean, where have I crossed the line when it comes into like making these sort of videos in which, hey, you know, I'm berating this guy just because he's being out of context, and the fact that he's being out of context, man, I could just really talk about that Google definition over and over and over again. And I mean, really, that's all I'm gonna say here. I mean, I don't know what to really go ahead and contemplate throughout the rest of this whole video. And I mean, I'm just OTIS, man. I am really over it. Man, and that's the problem. Really, so I have to go through such a completely and utterly bad experience. Basically, you know, I think the reason why I'm also out of context as well. So it actually proves to me that, like, when I'm being out of context, it's like I'm being out of context just because he's out of context. I'm out of context. It's basically when I'm out of context, he speaks, and when he's out of context, I speak. And I think that's actually sort of a bit of a seesaw of what I'm doing here at the moment now. And you know, I'm actually going to straightforward, totally ignore this guy here, and I think that's the problem. That's the part about it, of course. You know what? That's about it. Yeah. In fact, I'm actually going to straightforward. Yeah. You know what? Not much am I going to really say here. Not much I can really say here again. Who knows? I think apart from getting, you know, the fact that I'm making these videos causing a bit of demonetization, not just because I'm plagiarizing and I'm actually recording over the top of his streams, but the other thing is that who knows, maybe it could be double flagged. You know, who knows, maybe my video could potentially be flagged or even double flagged, because maybe, who knows, that's the problem, because who knows, maybe I might be flagged, or maybe, who knows, I could get double flagged, or maybe double demonetized. And I'm sort of thinking, it's pretty much funny, like, you know, the double demonetization bot is sort of similar to the double flagging in videos, and I'm sort of thinking, how is this going to work? And actually, if I go ahead and look through Twitch, maybe you can actually report, and actually if you go towards the, if you go up towards, you know, when you're watching a live stream, you can actually report the live stream, and you can actually report this guy. Okay, you just swore, you have just swore. Okay, I am jump cutting here right now. Okay, as you can see, I'm actually straightforward in this section here, where why I've actually decided to submit this report. I might as well just go to bullying and or harassment. Maybe I might as well go to that. Maybe I might as well go to targeted abuse. And I'm straightforward very much going to be doing this. Okay, let me just go ahead and type in what I've got here. He is being out of context because he is saying, there you go, or there we go, or there it is. I think this happens every, maybe like a few to about 15 to 22 seconds. Maybe even 40 to 50 seconds, because it peeves and angers me a whole lot. There you go. That is what I've just written. And as you can see, I can just straightforward report this, and I'm going to cover it because that is where my email address is. Submit the report. And there you go. I'm going to be straightforward. Yeah. There we go. Straightforward. I'm reporting this live stream here, and look at that. He's actually gone through the 4-hour mark, and yeah, you can definitely see why. And of course, yes, you can see why the buffering part is that, yeah, look at that. I've been banned from chat, and you know what? I've actually been a complete nuisance, a muckle nuisance, on the 26th of May. In fact, if I go back to when it was banned, it was honestly about on Monday, which was that one day. I think the last time, I think it was around Wednesday or Thursday. It might have been a complete another nuisance that I said out of context. And I remember him saying, why can't I blur chat in real time? Just don't say the word please. I mean, I just don't like that. I mean, that's the fact here. I just cannot stand this complete another streamer here. I might as well just straightforward end here. You know, I'm actually going to straightforward leave that stream here because, or leave that video. In fact, I think I'm actually going to leave it here. I just feel completely and utterly down by this, I'm afraid. Completely and utterly down. I'm basically just have to jump cut here because there's a lot of like swearing and that sort of stuff, and I'm trying to be very careful in the way I say here, as always, on these types of videos. And normally I don't often come along and talk about those stupid dumbass videos with that stupid bloody raccoon right over here. I think that's probably about it actually. But, you know what? I'm gonna straightforward, you know what? I don't know what to really say, but, oh well. I'm gonna straightforward like, oh, I don't know. Maybe I might as well just straightforward end this whole stream here. Because I've got no more words. I feel like that is about it. Because I don't know what's going on, but I feel like as it's coming up towards midnight, I need to get some proper rest. And I can't be there shouting all midnight and all night long because that will be a complete nightmare, okay? It will be a nightmare for me, and it will also be a nightmare. And look, it's already gone towards midnight. And he also has been, guess what? He has been streaming for nearly 4 hours? This is ridiculous! How could he just stream for nearly 3 and, oh my goodness me, for 3 hours and 52 minutes? And I mean, this is just wrong. I'm sorry, but this is just absolutely wrong. You know what, I might have to probably stop here because honestly, as I said before on the other episode, I cannot, you know, I don't want to sound so much, you know, oh man, I feel like I'm gone off like a rocket. Maybe it's time for me to just straightforward end here because that's about it. Because I cannot try and, you know, straightforward carry on complaining about this guy, you know, it's just not going to be good use. Anyways, I might have to stop here. At this point, I'll have to straightforward end here because I cannot have a video which involves me ranting about something and the fact that I'm, you know, it's just no use. It's just no use really much talking about a certain Twitch streamer that I really, you know, a person that I used to like, but now feeling like I'm straightforward feeling like, I'm feeling like this guy is being disliked just because of a very particular reason. That being said, like, for the fact that it's being out of context for, you know, almost 90, in fact, all of the streams, all of the Twitch streams, and basically all of it. And that's final. And I don't want to straightforward think about it anymore again because of that stupid, thingy. I don't know, maybe that's just what it is. I'm going to straightforward, like, you know, leave it for the time being. I'm really sorry I have to end it here, so, you know what, that's it. You know, I'm going to straightforward let myself end the whole video like this. Sorry about that, guys. If you really want to see more of this sort of stuff on YouTube, please give this video a very good like. And of course, I certainly didn't enjoy that video on YouTube. Subscribe for more for that videos in the future, unlike that stupid, dumbass raccoon. As always, thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.